This week's episode is sponsored by Change. Change is the #1 mentoring program that teaches you e-commerce from scratch. Change has a real community with real results. I have been working with Ryan for many years now and have attended many of his events and retreats across the world and got to meet members and the amazing community of like-minded people. Ryan works with a lot of big names in the business world, helping them build online businesses and e-commerce. Change offers personal one-on-one support, no experience needed, but like anything, this takes time and is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you put the work in, you will get the results. E-commerce and online shopping is getting bigger and bigger. This is a great opportunity for anyone that is looking for financial freedom. For more information, go follow Ryan on Instagram at RyanJB, and he will guide you through the steps to help you get started and build a successful online business. You can now follow me on all my social media platforms to find out who my latest guest will be. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you're notified for when my next podcast goes live. And boom, we're on. And today's guest, we get Jeff Tieku. Jeff, how are we?
I'm good. Long journey. Well, we're here.
Yeah, we're here eventually, bro. But fascinating story. Prison guard, over 10 years.
Yeah.
You've done Lad Bible. You've got your story out there.
Yeah.
You're one of the coppers to never be corrupted. You've seen all the corruption. You've seen all the madness in prison. You seem like a good guy yourself.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to get into all the background of who you are, what you're all about, you know?
Sweet.
Before we get into all the madness, though, I always like to go back to the start with my guests, get more of a bit of understanding about you, where you grew up and how it all began.
Yeah. So I grew up in London Bridge. Grew up in a decent household. Like my mum and dad are still married. And obviously, like growing up in, should I say, an African household, there's like a strict regiment in like how you should like live your life. So I was always in like education, you know. I've gone secondary school, I've gone college, I've gone university, studied criminology and psychology, got a 2-1. So like I've always been, again, academically like switched on.
What was mum and dad like?
They were good as gold, to be fair. They were strict. Obviously, they used to...
Are they Christian?
Yeah, they used to... But then when it came to enforcing discipline, it was mad. I used to get licked down, man. But yeah.
Listen, I don't think it does any harm. Obviously, when you're a kid, I used to get the shit kicked out of me, but I had that then, not fear factor, but you then have the respect.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that again, but I was a little rebel as well, so
Yeah.
I would do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we've lost that as a society where kids are not being disciplined. Kids, I'm not saying fucking beat them up, but I'm just saying you've got to respect your parents, because if you don't respect your parents, you ain't going to be respecting anyone.
100%. And even with like the work that I'm in now, I'm a service manager. So that entails getting housing for young people that suffer from like domestic abuse or like they've lost their parents. So I basically formulate a pathway structure in them seeking their independence again. And when I look at the amount of children that's fallen out with like their parents, it just shocks me, because like back in our days, like that just wouldn't happen. But it's like a common factor now. Just Yeah,
my mum and dad, they were married 16 and 17.
Oh, wow.
With each other nearly 40 years, like a long time. And the family household, the family structure is falling, you know.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in prison, which we'll touch on.
Yeah.
The majority of the kids have come from broken home.
Yeah.
The majority of people, they don't understand love. They don't understand it, like discipline, and understand that bad shit's always going to happen. We're living in a day now where nobody wants to work at relationships, nobody wants to work at friendships, because as soon as it goes bad, we can just go straight onto social media or dating website just to fuck off the next person and move on to the next, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, just working in that system has opened up my eyes a lot. Even again, when we touch base on prison, it was my humility, as well as me being like a flyboy in there. I can't lie, I was a flashy individual in there, but it was my humility because I made time for everyone. I didn't care about the position that you're in. The wing that taught me a lot, I'd say, was the detox wing, you know, because they're like the forsaken individuals. So to humble myself where I was recognized in that aspect, you know, yeah, taught me a lot.
But it's mad because being one of the lads, because you're one of the lads, you can talk to you. So I'd be thinking, I could corrupt him.
100%.
You're a target.
100%.
You know, not knowing the background, not knowing where you come from,
Yeah.
your values, which is very important because, well, majority of people sell out. And I've realised that through the years, like, people will do anything for money.
Yeah.
You know, but if I'm speaking to someone on a level, I'm thinking he's one of me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, I can get you X, Y, and Z.
100%.
And it'd be scary to think, no, I'm not doing that. You'd be thinking, what? You know, it's different.
Yeah. It was tough, to be fair, because obviously growing up in South London, and working in a South London prison, I met everyone. Do you understand? So it's that pressure of thinking of them saying, oh, what's it? Like, you're one of us, like, pattern demand them or bringing like contraband and that. But again, first of all, I was terrified in even getting involved in them kind of things there, because when you get caught, it goes left, you know, and I know my luck. I just know that I'll get caught, you know. Even there's been times when I've like accidentally bought in like my phone and I'm scrambling to run back out the gates to put my phone like back, because sometimes you just forget like that you have these items which are forbidden to bring into obviously the establishment.
The criminology side of things, what made you choose that?
I've always had an interest in how how people get to a stage of, I don't know, developing, should I say, a mindset in engaging like in criminal activity. Like what goes through your head at that time that you're gonna commit to something, knowing that there's a big risk. So obviously criminology, it was a big interest to me. Initially, I was gonna go to uni to study biology, but then it's just like even experiencing that in college, I thought, no.
What was it like growing up in the streets then? You must have came up, because majority of London fucking criminals. No disrespect, but it's the same as Glasgow. You know, there's proper men down here. Yeah, everyone's active, you know. And so how was your friends?
They were active. You know, some were active, some weren't. And you get caught in like the crossfire, you know. Me being, like I said, I was like a decent lad. I was like the joker amongst everyone, innit? But when it came to like conflicts and that, I always found myself getting caught up, you know. So I've been stabbed, you know, I got stabbed in Catford. And that was over my boy who, at the time, he was affiliated with like Peckham. So Peckham and Lewisham, as well as Catford, they had like serious conflicts. So having to be in that melee, should I say, you know, it's wrong place, wrong time, and it was with him, you know. Then obviously there was an incident one time where like basically one of my friends, he got like robbed. So we've all gone down like to Pimlico. We didn't know that this guy was prepared, in it. So he's come out just firing shots at us. And like, yeah, it's just, yeah. So being in London is just mad. It's crazy.
That could have made you go south though.
Easy.
The stabbing, that's the one that can trigger people. The beating, the abuse, being done in, you're thinking, not me again, because through the years of interviewing criminals, murderers, bank robbers, drug lords, when they get involved in that life of crime, or when the most violent ones, is because they've been abused or bullied when they're younger, so the violence becomes like a defense mechanism. I don't want to feel pain, so I don't want to be stabbed, so I'll need to start stabbing. So it's like a fear, everything's controlled by fear. Why did you not slip then after that? Was that a wake-up call though to do something else?
To be fair, because even with how it happened, obviously the asked what area I'm from. I said that I'm from London Bridge. They said, oh, what's it? You know that you're in like an area that you shouldn't be in. And obviously they've asked my boy where he was from. And he said that he's from Peckham. So initially, like they've chased after us in Catford, and then I remember I've jumped on the bus and my boys jumped on the bus as well, but they've jumped on. So he jumped off. He wasn't like street savvy. So obviously I've jumped off the bus. I could have easily got away, you know, but my dad has said like when you are in like such situations, never ever leave like your friend behind in it, and that resonated with me. So when I've jumped off the bus, I've tried to reason with this guy. He's a big lad, you know. I've tried to reason with him, and then when I've turned around, he's clocked me. And yeah, James, from there I lost it. I beat the life out of both of them, you know. So I didn't have to, even though they drew blood from me, I didn't have to go. Like they had to use like knives and that to like deal with me. But I didn't even know that I got stabbed until when I've gone on the bus and there was a nurse next to me. She said, "You know you're bleeding from like the waist." And then, yeah, they've taken me Lewisham Hospital.
What was your parents saying?
They were terrified. My mum especially. And it's mad because it's like a little pattern in like my family. Like my older brother got stabbed. So then for me to get stabbed, you know, like shook up my mum. Like my dad, like he was more understandable than my mum. Like my mum wouldn't even let me go out. Like, you see what I'm saying? She just tried to put me in that protective bubble.
How is that? Like, when you look at the stuff in Ireland, when Irish are killing Irish, and then you look at stuff people just want to go on and you've got blacks stabbing blacks and killing blacks, how is that? When it's really over postcodes, like it's postcode wars.
I find it pathetic because it's not even like you own them. You don't own that postcode. So to be warring over it, I don't understand like the logic, you know, and it's just incurred loads of life being lost, you know, and again, that postcode war is rife in prison. Like people get badly hurt, you know.
But it's mad to think that people genuinely just want to go on in life. The majority of people are good, but you do get caught up in some mad shit. Yeah. And it's the majority of the innocent ones who get caught up in the crossfire. Yeah. You know, like growing up through the years, it's always the ones who've been okay, but they've just been standing with the wrong people. Yeah. And they're the ones who get caught, you know. It's mad. Even in Glasgow, like it was a murder capital in Europe for fucking many years. Like it's just white kids killing white kids over postcodes. Wow. It's fucking nuts. Crazy. And Glasgow's it's a crazy place, man. It's calmed down a lot, but I think it's now becoming one of the worst again. There, Napoli, Barcelona, it's nice.
I wouldn't think Glasgow is active like that.
It was fucking heavy. It was a murder capital of Europe. The night crime is through the roof. Wow. And there's a lot of gang wars now.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's fuck, bro. Yeah.
What, in Edinburgh?
No, Edinburgh's touristy, but there's a couple of bad bastards in Edinburgh, but Glasgow's next level.
Really?
Crime, yeah. Like I say, the knife crime is through the roof. It's knife crime and car theft is one of the biggest in Europe right now. Barcelona, Napoli, couple other places, but London doesn't even come close to Glasgow, especially with the size of the population. They go with the population, I think it's like 500,000 or whatever. Down here, you're 9, 10, 11 million. I don't even know what it is, but it's fucking madness.
Wow.
It's madness, but it's lack of education. It's a lot of boredom kicks in. There's no purpose. You know, the system's in place where nobody really knows what to do. Yeah. So if you've no purpose, then you just want to fight. You just want to get caught up in bad stuff. And when we talk earlier, you don't know why people get caught up in the thrill. I know guys who are seriously players, multi-millionaires, didn't have to get involved, but they're away from it all. But there was something missing. So they come back into the thick of it because they want that thrill. That's all it is. It's the thrill of the mind. They're chasing some sort of fucking wicked buzz.
I don't get it, to be fair.
So after getting stabbed, then what was life like then?
I would say it made me more wary, especially when it came to going to different, should I say, territories.
Paranoid or just more on guard?
Just more on guard, just on point. But I never like carried like weapons and that with me. But you know, I never like carried like weapons with me and that. It was more.
Did you think about it though?
Yeah, because I had access to them kind of things anyway, because of like my friends, innit? You know, but
it's just a walking indictment, you know, because it only takes someone to punch you, get angry, and you don't know where to go, you know.
So, yeah, but then I was always switched on because even after that, like, I still graduated, I still went uni, like, I was still like working. It's not like it got me into a phase of getting involved in like illegal activities and that.
Did you have to step back from your friends when you were going to university?
Some of them I did. I've lost some, like just through them getting killed in like gang wars. Some got incarcerated at the time as well. So it's like that separation automatically happened. You know. Yeah. So, but I've never been like a follower. I've just focused on like building on myself and bettering myself, to be fair.
It's difficult though when you've got friends who are willing to die for you, willing to do anything for you. When you start to make changes and want to do better with your life, it's difficult to distance yourself because you still have a place in your heart for them. You know, you just know where they're going. There's no option but death or prison. And you can see that clear. You know, there's nobody that says, do you know what, I want out. Nobody says, I'm going to go to university. If you went to university, I guarantee some of your friends would have probably laughed.
Yeah, they did. You know, and it's funny that you said that. No, they actually did laugh. I'm thinking, oh, like,
Poof.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You want to do well in your life. Everything that you done wrong in school, or you couldn't stay out by a certain time, you're saying don't be gay, or everything was, you would try and manipulate people to stay with you in that circle. But if somebody's doing well, you think, don't be a fuck. Why are you going to university? You're going there to change your life. You're going there for better opportunities. But it's sad that the mindset of the youth think that way because they've no role models. They've nobody in their family who's went to university. They've no father figure to discipline and say, you can make these choices because everybody's got greatness. Everybody has potential. And there's some amazing people who have great potential who never fulfill it because of the fear of the unknown, because a lot of people are scared to do something different.
100%.
But you clearly had a good mum and dad forced upon you that you can achieve anything, that you can work hard, that you can be better, you know? Was it difficult when people were laughing? Did you ever question it?
No, because I always saw like the end goal in it, you know? And even when it came to like pen to paper, like say if they wanted me to write them like a reference or a letter and they're seeing like my use of vocabulary, sorry, it shocks them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I know how to speak slang and I know how to polish my vernacular if and when. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think that's important. I think it's good to have both. You know, because sometimes when you speak nice and you're pleasant, people test you. And it's not people from the streets, it's the dickheads in the suits. You know, and sometimes you fuck
sometimes you gotta switch up on them.
Who the fuck you talking to? Like, it's mad because the nicer you are, people do take the piss.
I know.
It's fucked up how, but if you're presenting yourself as a bad man, people go, whoa, I'm not going to go there.
Exactly.
Like, it's fucking crazy how people's minds can shift by appearance.
It's bonkers.
What was it like when you graduated?
I was more happy at the fact that like my mum was like over the moon, because she underestimated me in somewhat, you know. So to actually see, and I was the first one to graduate in my family as well. There's 5 of us, and being the first,
bro.
Middle child gets problems, man. But being the middle child, being the first to graduate, you know, like made my mum and dad proud.
Emotional.
It's like she cried. I didn't cry. I just thought, oh, I'm done with education. I don't want to know no more.
But it proves what you can do when you put the mind to it.
100%.
I know someone from the streets whose friends were active. There's not many. There's a very, very slim percentage of people who actually do well when you're caught up in that life. You know, because it's too easy to be caught up in it. It's too difficult. You always get dragged back in. You know?
It's like crabs in a bucket. It's mad.
What happened then after that? Why did you not go down the criminology route, the kind of route?
Oh no, so initially, when I got my degree, I was working in retail, like in the meantime, and then that's it. I've then gone into my junk email and I've seen, do you want to open a prison? I don't know what made me go into my junk, but at the time it was Thameside. I'm thinking, well, it's got to do with like criminology, innit? I'm deluding myself thinking that it's going to relate, because I wanted to get into probation. I wanted to be like a probation officer. So, when I seen that, I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna work in this system. Not knowing that it's gonna be 10 years, but I'm gonna work in the system, build up experience, and then go into probation. It didn't go to plan.
What was it like, the training to be a prison officer?
When I look back at it, it was good, but then you don't take that in when you come on live. You don't adopt anything that they say to you. The only thing that you can take in is just not to be corrupt. Everything else is just bogus. Even when it even comes to the restraining aspects, it doesn't go to plan, you know.
Were they more on you though because of where you were from?
Yeah.
Thinking he's a plant?
Yeah, 100%.
Were they?
Oh,
and how is that? Is that just a genuine assumption because of where you're from, or is there a bit of racism involved?
I'll say that it's a bit of both. Obviously, I didn't adhere to the uniform. I wore Pradas, like as my like prison. I wore Prada. That's what I'm known. That's what everyone knows me as, like the Prada guy. So I wore Pradas as like my prison boots. I never ever wore prison boots in the 10 years I was there. Never. So that already got attention because they're thinking, oh, right, like, how's he wearing like, it was like £250 trainers to like prison. And then I had like nice cars as well. So they're thinking, yeah, this guy, he's definitely going to be one on the numbers for like inmates, you know? And it just wasn't the case. You know, they were severely disappointed. And there were so many times where they tried to stitch me up as well, you know?
Your own?
Yeah, no, like stitch me up in terms of
Your own people who try to stitch
yeah.
you up?
Oh, James, I've got some stories for you, man. Crazy stories, you know? Like the level of like corruption, the way like officers will try to stitch you up. I'll tell you a story. There was a time when I bought a Q7 and there was a reception orderly. Like, so you get like prisoners that work in like trusted position. And I've gone to his wing, he was D wing at the time. And he said to me, oh, you need to be mindful with like your audience and the people that watch you. What do you mean? Do you drive a Q7, innit? I'm thinking, how do you know that? He said, oh, there's a bag of staff that were talking about you, the reception manager, all of like the staff were saying like, how did he afford that? Obviously he must be bringing in drugs. We're gonna put in security intelligence report. This is from an inmate. He has no right to even know that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that in itself just made me a lot more switched on, you know.
Yeah, it's sad that when you're trying to make a good living, you're trying to do well, but other people in your own crew are trying to fuck you over.
Yeah.
What was first day in prison like?
Mental.
Were you nervous?
I was. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, oh, what's it? I was scrambling. Cause it's like unlocking the jungle, isn't it? Like as soon as you even walk on and your keychain swinging, like they can hear that. They pick up on things very, very quick. So all you hear is banging. Gov, let me out. Gov, I'm this worker. Gov, I'm supposed to be going to this activity. I was thinking, oh my goodness. And it's crazy because even on my first day, I've unlocked one of the cell doors and I've seen one of my friends from college at the time. I said, what happened? Why are you here? And he's just said to me, yeah, he got involved in like drugs. And it's just like, from then it was just, I thought to myself, yeah, this is mad. And then even on that day, there was like a cell-fire in the seg. And that was like my first restraint. Like going into the cell, I've had to restrain the prisoner out of the cell. You know, it was bonkers, man. Mad.
When did you start kind of finding your feet? When did you start understanding, okay, it's mad, I'm in the jungle, but I need to learn the trade? Does it take time? Or you've got
yeah, you gotta learn fast because they throw you in the deep end. And with me, I found myself getting thrown in the deep end with officers that weren't as charismatic or they weren't as physically strong then, you know? So I had to pick up things quick. I had to learn how to de-escalate. I had to learn how to accept dealing with a situation on my own, you know, where I know like this officer he can't defend me, like, you know? And there's been so many occasions where I've just had to take lead in taking out a prisoner on like my own because he's just physically not capable, you know. And I remember, and that was on B-Wing, and I remember he said to me, Jeff, I'm so sorry that I couldn't help you the way I did. And it touched me, to be fair, because one, you shouldn't even be doing this job. Your livelihood's at risk. Go and enjoy time with like your family and that, you know. So yeah, I had to learn quick.
What was the first jail you went to?
Thameside. Yeah.
How was it?
It just opened. So you got offices that's come from different backgrounds, more so like retail, you know, but it didn't hit home until when we had like the lifers come down from like Loudon Grange. So they were deemed as like the trusted prisoners. So like the first 5 came in and they were good as gold because they're on something called like an enhanced regime. So they wouldn't have given you any like trouble. But then they started to then filter in people that were coming from different jails. And that's when, yeah, it was game on.
Who ran those prisons? The Muslims?
When it comes to like the life jails, yeah, like the Muslim faith is prominent, is dominant, you know.
Is that power plays though for better food, better conditions? Is that because I spoke to someone, who did I speak to? I actually had a meeting with someone who was proper from Birmingham a couple of days ago, but he says a lot of the guys go Muslim because it's like a brotherhood, you're all praying together, but when they came out, they don't really follow it up still.
It's like a form of safety, especially for those that were in for like sexual offences. You know, if they took the, what's it called again, when they convert, I forgot what it's called.
Shahada.
Yeah, Shahada, that's it, yeah. So that would automatically grant them grace. Do you understand what I'm saying? They then welcome into that community.
They shouldn't get welcomed anywhere.
Again, I could tell you some stories, man, when it comes to those particular kind of individuals.
Yeah, they fuckers should not get welcome, no matter the religion, skin colour, gender.
It's mental. You see, even when it comes to, should I say, them particular kind of people, and it's mad, I was thinking about it this morning, because I used to work on the VP wing as well. And I remember I've gone into a cell, and this was C wing at the time. And I've gone into, like, you do your fabric checks. And I've gone into the cell, and I've seen babies' heads on, like, pictures of babies' heads on, like, big men's body. And at that time, he was noshing off to CBBC's, the kids' program. And obviously, when I've caught him in that, he looked at me and he said, "Oh, Jeff, I'm so ashamed of myself." I didn't even know what to say. Just, yeah.
Was this someone who was in for that or something else?
Yeah. He had multiple offences.
What wing was he in? Was he put in next to the normal cons? Or was he
No. So they were smart. All of like those that were in for them offences, they'll put them on the foreign national wing. So the foreign nationals wouldn't be privy to what they're in for. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know?
So they weren't in protection?
No. But they'll put on, that wing was deemed as protection because foreign nationals, like, most of them done like something called IS-91. Like,
what's it like when you come up against the nonces and the worst sick people of the planet?
You know what it is? I try to look past it if they don't brag about it. You see what I'm saying? Or I try not to look at what they're in for, you know? But there've been times where some have bragged and yeah, what's happened's happened, like, you know, and you're bragging brazenly about it as well. You're boasting about it, like.
They're bragging to each other on that level?
Some to each other, some to like officers, some would just say it like loudly. And then again, should I say, there's times and places where obviously it's jungle justice, isn't it? You know, during exercise, you know, the alarm goes off, one's been smacked over, like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't mind that. But like you say, you don't condone the events, and you must have a duty of care. What's your duty of care for the paedophiles? Like how? Because when I was in the jail in Berlin, they used to, I think it was E-Hall they used to be in, but they always got, I was on the gym pass, and they were always in first. Yeah. And they were, because we used to just go in the back room, because it was very disturbing. There's things that happened to a couple, which I've never discussed, but the screws were good in Berlin. There was a couple of pricks, but they were okay. But they used to come over in the morning, but there was a coldness about them. There was a fucking darkness about the cunts, like the little tints in their glasses, and the beards, and they were fucking, not all of them, but you could tell that they were devious. You could tell that they're deviants.
Yeah, I could pick that up straight away.
Yeah.
But again, they were, should I say, heavily protected. Don't know why.
Is that?
I really don't understand that system. Tell you a story. I'm not going to go into too much detail. There was an incident. I'm not going to mention the wing either, but there was an incident that happened where an officer's son's daughter got raped, and they put the perpetrator on my wing. So obviously, inmates have caught whiff of what it was in for. Obviously, the officers like showed me in it, and yeah, absolutely destroyed like that that individual. Got absolutely smoked. I think he even I'm sure he got airlifted. Yeah, yeah. But these things happen, man.
No. Yeah, you don't mind that, like, because I respect officers, because it used to get screws to tell you, listen, that's such and such. There was a man who cut a girl up and put her in a suitcase, and they would say, listen, that's such and such. People would get a heads up.
Yeah. You know, you always get the drop.
Yeah, and then maybe just turn a blind eye for a minute.
Yeah.
You know. But what was the worst thing you seen at the very start? What was the one thing you thought, okay, I'm in a serious job here?
When one lifer hung himself, but then how he hung himself was insane, because he used like the mattress, he wrapped like a ligature around like the TV stand, and then he's been able to alleviate his legs to cut off the supply from his breathing. And seeing that as well, like rigor mortis, having to administer CPR, yeah, that's when I said, nah, okay, cool. I'm working in a serious place. And then as well as when it comes to like the assaults as well, I've seen someone get their head chopped open and I could see their skull. And they're saying to me, Jeff, is it bad? I'm saying, like, I've had to wrap my fleece around their head. The assaults I've seen have been crazy, man, you know? And it's mad, because even when it comes, should I say, see like your UK artists, some of them have gone into prison. They've like held some serious assaults as well, like, you know. Yeah, I've seen madness, man. Seen people get knocked out with frozen chicken. I've seen it sounds bad, but you know, I've seen someone like, he just like kept his urine in like a plastic container at the time, but it became acidic, you know, and yeah, but he kept it over like months, and then obviously tries to use it as like acid, innit? Like, yeah, what goes through their head is mental.
Fucking scientists in there.
Yeah,
biology. Yeah. Like, it's mad when people who can make their hooch and how they can get their mobile phones, how they can get their drugs.
Yeah.
It is a different level, and you think if you can put that brain towards something more productive and it's not crime, you would do well. I'm
telling you, there was even with this bottle, this guy, Lifer, he's been able to conceal his phone. So he's cut a compartment there, and he's stored his BlackBerry in between. Like, but you just pick up and think that it's just I said he's a genius.
Because you're not allowed, because in Berlin they weren't allowed to open your Pringles or open your anything that was sealed.
Yeah.
Is that the way it was down here?
Yeah.
Not open the water or anything?
No, you couldn't do that. Yeah, so
smart.
Yeah. I'd give it to him, man.
Yeah. Did you have any women working? Because now, what about that woman getting fucked in the cell? Like, that is madness, but it happens all the time.
It happens.
You know?
Yeah.
Did you have many women working with you?
Yeah, listen, they shouldn't work in that system, man. Again, like, in terms of like corruption, like, I've opened like a cell door and I've seen a woman like giving oral to a prisoner. I've just closed it, like, you know, because like I always say, no one would have believed me, like, you see what I'm saying? And obviously that prisoner was getting like released the next day. But to witness that, and then to come out to say and ask if I was okay as well, knowing that I've seen you do that, like, it's just crazy, you know? And then even with female officers, like, they're getting like their bums done and their teeth done. Like, inmates are paying for them to get like their bodies reconfigured and that, you know? I think if a female's working in that system is based on seeking attention from men, because like you're gonna have all that male attention no matter how you look, but it shouldn't be working there, man.
It's prostitution.
Yeah,
but you get a lot of fat, overweight women. They don't get attention. You've got men inside for 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
They're going to shag anything.
Yeah.
They end up shagging each other somewhere.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I was only in a few months, but when I first went, I was on the pass at A-hole.
Yeah.
And the fucking two guys were sleeping in the fucking top bunk in A-hole, and you're thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I was going in at 22 thinking I'm going to get shagged because I was a handsome bastard. Thinking, I was on edge thinking I need to keep my fucking wits because I was scared.
Yeah.
I'm watching the American movies, not realising. Then once you go in, you realise 80-90% are on fucking drugs, or they're wasters.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing people cuddling in fucking bed, and you're thinking, like, what the fuck
It's mad.
is going on?
It's
Like,
crazy.
did you ever see that? Also, like men on men, like fucking.
Oh yeah,
guys that you've never think of.
like inmates and inmates?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time. Like during so when you're on like your night shift, you do something like roll check. So you go around and you count the heads on beds. So yeah, and it's mad, yeah, because you wouldn't expect that particular individual to be engaging in that. You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking, and yeah, it's just seeing that. It was and it was rife as well. You know? Bro, it was rife.
And that's what you're saying. You're surprised at who's
Yeah.
you know?
And it was like the most active, like, should I say, gangbanger. I'm thinking, bro, is this what you're on? This is mad.
But they say, what is it? They call it prison gay, jail gay.
Yeah. You know?
You're either a batty boy, mate, or you're not. Do you know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter what you're doing, man. If you're doing 10, 20 or 30, you're locking up your ass. If you're doing anything other than that, then you've always been suspect, Jeff. There's no such thing as prison gay. You're either sucking dick or you're not.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
especially when like the trans used to come in. They had to put them on like the VP wing as well because they're on target, you know. And you'll be surprised who was involved in all that. You know, it's mad, crazy, man.
yeah, people like the lady boys. Like, it's fucking sick.
Crazy.
So what happens when the trans comes in? Are you talking about men going through the transition?
Yeah.
Because in Scotland, men were allowed to then go to women's prisons because they identified with men. And men would end up getting women pregnant in the prison. Like, it's so backwards. So how was it for the trans coming to prison?
So if they were transitioning into a woman, it's only when they have like they get the full works done. So normally they'll come in with like a pair of tits, but they still got their. And it's mad because even when you have to search them, you have to have a female or male officer. So the female will search the top, and then the man will search the bottom. Just fucked, man. Like seeing that, and it's mad. You know what pissed me off, James? Yeah, bro. Like they'll put me on like exercise duty. Again, I'm a good looking guy, so like all of like the trans will like come in the yard and just start talking inappropriately. I'm thinking, bro, I don't even need this, man. And then I have like the gangbanging wind laughing at me, like it was comical at the time, but it was just long.
But ain't it mad though? Like what you have to see and what you have to go through, you know?
Yeah, and what you have to tolerate as well.
How many jails did you go to?
I think in total 7, you know.
What was the next one you went to?
So I was something called a riot response. So that's when you go to different prisons or you get cross deployed to prisons to like deal with like riots. So I went to, and it's mad because when a riot happens, you then get deployed to transferring prisoners to other prisons. And so that prison may keep you momentarily. So I've been to Dovegate, Loudon, Doncaster, Woodhill, Pentonville, Loudon Grange. I've done courts for like Belmarsh as well. But when you go to life for prisons, it's different kettle. Like when I went to Woodhill and Loudon Grange, different species of inmates.
Why did you go to so many prisons?
Just cross deployed you get like cross deployed. Some could be for like training, some could be like for like refreshers course. It depended really, but most of the time it was like for concerted discipline, so like riots. Yeah.
What prison is easier? What makes a good prison? Is it the prison guards? Is it the warden? But what makes a good prison?
I'll say the prison officers. Because I was fortunate, every wing that I went on, I built a relationship where like officers were cool with the inmates. So then like you're building that cohesion where, say if you get like an idiot come onto the wing thinking that he's bad, like prisoners will put him in these places they'll put that person in their place in it and say, no, that officer's cool, or like this wing is cool. It's not that. You see what I'm saying? You know, and then obviously if they thought they could carry on, then yeah, jungle justice in it. You know.
What prison was the worst one?
I'll say Loudon Grange.
What was that?
Yeah.
How so? The corruption, the madness.
I'll say more so the madness, because you're dealing with people that have nothing to lose. You know, there's something called mass movement. Are you familiar with what mass movement is?
Yeah. Well, for people who don't know, can you explain that?
Yeah, so mass movement is where like the whole prison establishment goes to like their activities or goes to their designated working areas. So I've seen an inmate get kidnapped on the route. So basically on mass movement, I've seen this inmate get kidnapped. And like, obviously, there was like a balcony bit. And the inmates got the other inmates dreadlock tied around his neck. They're saying like, listen, I'm going to kill both of us. And it was like a deep drop as well. And they had to get like the negotiators. Like it was just mad to see that. And it just happened out of nowhere. I've seen this guy just getting dragged. And then, yeah, he tied his dread around his neck and said, yeah, we're gonna finish ourselves there. And they're both doing life as well. So, and that's the thing, you can't really reason with a lifer because they have nothing to lose. You know, so to de-escalate a situation, it was difficult. You know, when you deal with a man that has nothing to lose, it's crazy, and it's mad because a few of us got cross-deployed, and I was working with one officer, and he's given something called an IEP. An IEP is like a warning. It's like a write-up when you do something wrong. And the guy's turned to this officer and said, like, I'm doing 35 years. Do you think I care about that? But remember you done that to me. And he said, oh, it's because Jeff is here. I'm not going to do you nothing. I said to this officer, you need to be mindful in how you deal with these lot. They don't care, innit? So, like, the week that I've gone back down to, like, Thames side, this officer's had his throat cut, you know? And it was from that inmate. You understand what I'm saying? Because with lifers, they don't forget anything. You know, you got to tread carefully with them.
Yeah, because they're there all day, but overthinking anyway, you know, and they're clearly there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, they're bad men, like,
Yeah.
clearly tapped. Not every murderer's tapped or they're fucking very intelligent. Some of them, you know,
Yeah.
they're switched on. Do you think a lot of officers bring it on themselves?
Yeah. Because I looked at the way I worked, where I had no problems. Like I said, you had to be an absolute madman to have an issue with me, because I wasn't should I say, a job worth where I had the keys, you're a prisoner, I'm the officer. Like, I was just very humble, like, you know. So when I looked at the way people worked, especially those that were bullied in school, trying to exert unnecessary authority, you know, it all comes down to the officer's attitude, you know. But yeah, and I think that's why, like, should I say, amongst the prison population, the relationships I built, and I built relationships with some serious individuals. It's serious individuals that's been on here, you know, your Ghosts, Yusuf, Danny Simpson.
Danny, man.
Yeah, Danny.
I've had him on this podcast about fucking 45 times. He says he'll change, and every time he ends up back in the jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I get him back on again.
I won't lie, he had a cushy.
Yeah, I love Danny. He's a
Yeah.
fucking mad cunt. I don't agree with anything he does, mate.
He's tapped,
But he's good stuff, man. And Danny was the
good
kind
stuff.
of guy who would do anything for you if you needed him, if he loved you, if he liked you.
yeah.
But he doesn't like everybody.
No, he doesn't.
You know? What was Danny Simpson like in prison? Because he's so brazen
Yeah.
in what he does. This is what I do. I robbed him. People are thinking, this guy's nuts. So people question who he is. But Danny's proper. Danny, first of all, he can scrap.
Yeah.
And he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like people some people can underestimate him, but that's the worst thing you can do because he's dangerous.
Yeah, he's got a good punch in him, man.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he used to, so when he was there, when I was there, he was on like D-wing. He had that whole wing under manners. And the officers, even governors, he had them under manners, you know. But he was good as gold, sweet as anything. Like, he would sort out any situation with like officers and like inmates, or he'll mash up an inmate if they're rude to a particular officer they like. So everyone, and remember, he's from like Bexley East side, and that's where most of like the officers came from. So they would worship the floor that he walked on, worshipped him. Yeah, no one can chat for him, man. I can't lie to you, Danny. Yeah, hats off to him.
He's proper stuff, Danny.
Hats off.
Like, I've known him for years now, and
Yeah.
he's fucking mad. Like, I'll see videos, he's got armed response round up one day.
He loves
and
it.
fucking hell, like, how can you live in that life?
He loves
constant?
it, man. He's a nutter.
Yeah, but he brings it on himself.
Yeah, he does.
But
He doesn't
give a
help
fuck.
himself. He
Yeah,
doesn't help himself,
but
man.
he'll love that you've, like I say, had his back as well, because Danny is proper. He's a fucking unit, and he knows a lot of people, and he won't back down.
No. Yeah, him. Yeah, Ghost as well.
He's
Ghost,
massive Ghost. Imagine him coming to your door, bro. You would just give him everything, wouldn't you?
with a shotgun as well. Already like 8'9", bro.
Fucking give him everything.
Yeah,
Just say, take it. Do you know what? Take my missus as well. Like, fuck off. Get away from my door. Like, he was massive when I interviewed him. Fucking massive.
He still
He's
is.
very calm.
Very.
And that's scary, you know? Like,
Very.
if he's whispering in your ear, listen, just stay calm. I'm only here to do X, Y, and you're thinking. That's more scarier.
It's just, yeah.
You know?
And that's the way he was. He just had a calm demeanor. Never ever kicked off. If you got into a situation, you were just about find out, because he was so discreet with it. You know, I've met some menaces. Bouncer as well. You know Bouncer, no?
Yeah.
He could go. I mean, me and him, we had to deal with someone that. But yeah, like, serious people, man. Bruce Herry, Carl Robinson, Froggy. I've met, and I'm still in contact with all of them. That's what's crazy.
Were you ever wary of any prisoners? Were you ever, when you've got that friendship, there's always one who gives you the side eye. There's always one who doesn't like you. Were you wary of anyone?
Yeah, I had a few of them. And we've got into it, basically. Obviously, I've done what I've done, like, to them. This is 2 separate occasions. But it both stemmed from them assaulting, like, female officers. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no pride in that, you know? So obviously, when I've inherited that conflict, or should I say that beef, and obviously what's happened, but one of them put a hit on my head. But then obviously, where everyone loved me in, like, the prison, they've given me the heads up, and then they've transferred, like, one of the perpetrators up. Like, yeah. So if we were to see each other, if I was to see those 2 particular individuals, it's going off. Because I know what I've done to them, innit? You know.
Who's the best prisoners to work with? Because even though the lifers are still good, they're kind of settled, they're still dangerous, because like you says, they've nothing to lose. You've got people maybe doing a few months, you've got the drug addicts. Like, who's the easiest to work with? Short sentences, long term?
I would say, like, long term, you know. Okay, cool. For example, you look at, like, Yusuf, Dwayne Patterson's aura, or the way he conducts himself, you know, as dangerous as he is, you know. Big up Yusuf. Shout out to Yusuf, man. That calm aura where he's able to give you, like, that fatherly advice or whatever. Those kind of inmates, because everyone knows what that person's on, but then to behave in such a way where, like, your mannerisms, you know, like, I'll say, someone that's doing, like, a long-term sentence that has structure, to even, like, the way they live, you know.
Can you see the change in people? Like, because Dwayne was proper back in the day, but then he changes, so it must be a shock for people to think, is this the same guy? Did you see people truly want to work on themselves, who were dangerous, who were tapped, to then want to become better?
Yeah, especially when I went to, like, the long-term prisons. So if someone got, like, a 12, and I've seen the way they behaved at, like, Thameside initially to where they were, especially when I went to Loudon Grange, because I went to Loudon Grange and Wood Hill in 2017, and I started Thameside 2012. So you can imagine from back then, them being an absolute tyrant to them being just calm, well-modelled. It was shock. Oh, it was a shock. I'm thinking, right, I could have never envisaged you changing, you know? I thought that you were just going to bang out throughout like your whole prison sentence, but I don't know. I think where they mix with inmates that are experienced or seasoned in the aspect and they've just humbled themselves, I think it just resonates on like, should I say, the inmates that are starred up or whatever you want to call it.
Do you get background checks in all the inmates? Do you know what offences they're in for?
Yeah.
What's the worst one you've seen?
Ooh. Ooh.
That many, bro?
That many. The one guy, he raped his mum, killed his mum, then raped the dog, and then killed the dog. There's one guy, his wife cheated on him, chopped her head off, then he started talking to her, like saying, like, why did you cheat? With the head decapitated. A lot of, should I say, underage like sexual assault, but it was a multitude. Again, you're seeing them charged with like 15 accounts of like rape. I'm thinking underage as well. Just like who are you? Like, you know, yeah. I think the worst offences was the offences amongst, should I say, the sex offenders. They're just grotesque. You wouldn't even think that they're human.
They should be put in a separate island or a separate wing. They should not
go to a different world.
They shouldn't be near prison officers. They shouldn't be allowed daylight, you know, because it's not normal. That the brain can't be fixed. Like the murderer, like the guy shagged his dog. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck me. He's killed his mum, raped his mum, shagged his dog, like, fucking hell.
And the worst thing is he was actually like one of the enhanced prisoners. And he was one of the first, 5'10" to come in. So then obviously because you got access to something called novice, and that shows all of the offences. So when I'm looking at novice and they've labelled it as bestiality, I don't know what.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what? And obviously I've become more inquisitive, so I've gone on Google and I've typed in his name. I've said, oh my goodness, this terror. This guy's you know.
And he's allowed to mix with other cons?
Yeah, but you know what's mad? None of the cons knew what he was in for, but it got leaked out though. You see, whenever someone was found out as like a perpetrator, they're getting shipped out. They normally get shipped out to like the nonce jails, innit?
But as a lot of these people, you know how a lot of the people go to protection wing? There's a lot of these, you see all these like, rapists and sex cases, they're all shite bags. But is there anyone who thought, do you know what? Fucking do what you've got to do and wanted to stay on the wing? Has there anybody actually been capable of holding their own?
Yeah, I'll say a couple, you know, because they could throw hands, you know, and they'll state their case. They'll state that obviously what they got charged with was misconstrued, you know. There was a couple, you know, and it's funny. One time, and this guy's good as gold, to be fair. Like obviously it's been leaked that apparently he's like he's in for like rape or whatever. But then obviously when you heard his story, he was a unit as well. I remember like one of the officers, like they tried to mock him. And say, oh, what's it? Why are you letting him come gym? He's a wrong'un basically. Obviously he's caught wind of that, innit? Don't think when he got released, he pulled up on that prison officer. You know, he was game. No one, I can't lie, no one could chat for him, man. He was like 6'5", 6'6".
Do you ever switch off though? Because when you're around these people, because I've interviewed enough people, when they're around serial killers and people who are fucking cannibals, they actually forget their crimes. And they just befriend these people and think it's normal. Do you ever switch off and actually forget sometimes what these people are in for because you built up a rapport with them?
Yeah, and then you get that, and then you you try to not normalize what they've done, but it's like you just see them as like a normal person, you know, which sounds mad because they've done crazy stuff. Like, you see what I'm saying? You know, but then sometimes like my paranoia will kick in. Like if I was training with like an inmate, I think like, and he's spotting me, I think like he might just try like drop the weight on me. Like sometimes you just, I don't know, your thoughts just run wild.
Do you train with the cons?
Yeah, I used to train them. So at the end of my career, I was like the gym officer.
It's a good job, that.
Yeah, it's lovely. I had a cushy number.
The gym officers were always sound.
Yeah, always sound.
Yeah, they are the good screws.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they look after you if they like you.
100.
Because we only got football once or twice, but if they liked you, they got me out every day playing like a five-a-side team.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And then working as like a gym officer, I had a cushy. And it was during COVID times as well. So I'll get them out. We'll do like 250 burpees as like a warm up, and then we'll get into like our body exercise and that. So that, I'll say during them periods, that made me form like a real close relationship. Because gym is pretty much, they take that as like luxury, you know. So I'm getting everyone and I'm building teams, you know, from different wings. I'm saying, no, this wing's fitted and you need to like fix up. So it was like healthy competition.
Do you ever get nightmares?
Yeah. Now and again, not as much now, but before, I'll wake up and I'll say to, well, this was when I was staying at my mum's. I'll wake up and I'll say to like my brother, oh, what cell are you in? And he's looking at me thinking, what? Like, what's wrong with? Or I'll wake up sometimes and I'll say, oh, what's your prison number? You know? And then like, it's just like, you get like flashbacks of like series of like events. Tell you another peak story. This one cuts, but I was thinking about this one today. So imagine my brother had an issue with his so-called girlfriend at the time. And she's got she got a harassment order put on him, but he didn't know. So they've seen each other outside. She's thrown water at him, he's thrown water at her. So they've reminded him in my prison. But I've got the drop from like an officer saying, you know, like, do you have a brother like named so-and-so? I said, how would you know that? So imagine, obviously I've gone in the next day and he was on induction. I've opened the cell door, I've seen my brother. I figure, oh my goodness me. Like, and I think what gives me flashbacks is like when they were transferring him, and they transferred him to a prison called ISIS, and ISIS was bad at the time, you know? And the only thing that gave him grace was because it was the reputation that I had. So when they heard that he was my brother, like they looked after him, and the governors looked after him as well. But that still flashes back because like, when it came to like the officers, especially when he got searched in reception, when they found out that he was my brother, they treated him crazy, like, you know, they just fully like disrespected him. I'm thinking like, I'm on you's lot side and you're doing that to like my brother. You know that you have knowledge of like my brother. So now and again I think about that, you know, which is why I don't regret when it comes to outing the corruption. I don't care, innit, because you wronged me from like, you know.
What do you think breaks man the most in prison? Do you think it females maybe?
Yeah, females and
Drugs,
spice.
but in their mindset, what do you think breaks them? Obviously family life,
Family,
but it must be difficult for men in relationships because if you're doing a big stretch, it's nowadays it's,
you know, it's the little things. It's like the minor deals. I remember, like, I've gone Miami and I've come back with like a bit of a tan. I'm tan as is, but yeah. I come back with like a bit of a tan, and this life that I was doing like 35 years. Like he said, like, Gov, like, you got a tan. And he said like F the roads, fuck the roads. Like, and I could see that it's broken him, like, because he's doing like 35 years, he's come to the reality that there's like no hope, you know. That made me think, you know, like, and I've seen prisoners, I'll say more so females and the sentencing as well. When they're like, should I say, 10 years deep into like a 30-year, sentencing tariff, the head just goes because it's the time that they're doing that breaks them, you know, and that just doesn't give you hope. What you'll find with life is they always delude themselves with their parole, you know, oh, I'm going to get parole, you know, and you know that that person's getting knocked back. You see what I'm saying?
How many snitches are in prison, do you think?
Snitches?
Yeah.
Loads.
There's many, isn't there?
Oh, there's so many.
People don't realise
Yeah,
the
there's
extent.
so many.
Everybody talks.
Men are the biggest bitches.
Yeah,
you know?
fucking pussies, man. Like, but obviously they try and speak their way out of trouble. And they're not 100% snitches, but they do enough to get good deals and they do enough to befriend the scrupulous. For me, it's business as well, to make friends with the prison guards, because you want to make your sentence, anybody with a brain cell, you want to make your sentence as easy as possible.
Yeah.
You know, you want to get in, get out and fucking do what you've got to do. But there's a lot of people who, they're not on it that way, where they just want to cause and fight. But did you see a lot of people kissing ass and a lot of snitches?
Like I don't even know where to even begin when it comes to like the snitching, because I always found, it was a scummy business bringing in drugs anyway. But I've seen inmates say to officers that this inmate is giving me a better deal than what you're giving me. And then it's caused conflict between the officers, where the officers are now setting each other up to get themselves like wiped out or whatever because of what the inmate said. Like, you know, it's such a scummy game, man. Like officers setting up officers, inmates setting up officers. Yeah, you'll find out, prisoners, they're the biggest, they don't help themselves, bro. And then you find out, and that's what deterred me from bringing in drugs. I don't like people talking shit on my name, you know? And it's when you fail to bring in like a parcel, like your name is getting thrown out. So, oi, what? Is Jeff in today? Like, why are you asking about me? Do you understand what I'm saying? But that signifies that you owed that inmate something. Do you understand what I'm saying? So to see that a lot, you know, or if one of the officers are walking on the wing to say, hey, Gov, where's the pattern? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? It's just, like, why would you say it so brazenly as well? Like, you know, it's just such a scummy business, man.
What's the worst things you've seen in a cell?
Phones, KFC, Nando's, officers' underwear. Don't ask me how that got there.
Male or female?
Female.
You don't know these pretty bastards, bro.
Yeah, I've seen all sorts, man. Listen, like, there's been, and I don't know how it's happened, like, there's been inmates that's been able to get officers, like, pregnant, you know? And that, should I say, couple officers have kept that inmate's, like, child. I'm thinking, where and how did this even happen? Like, you know? It's just mad. It's James, it's crazy. It's like a village of sin. It's crazy. It's like walking in hell.
What sort of tools did you used to find? Shanks?
I've seen someone make like a bladed article out of soap. And it was sharp as well. Shanks, normally they'll melt the, yeah. The hot water and jam, that was a good weapon, to be fair.
How many times did you see that getting through over people?
Oh, loads.
Sugar as well?
Yeah, mixture of sugar, yeah. The hospital trips for that was rife at one point. I'll say in 2015, 2016. It's just, and the skin's melting off completely as well. You know, I've seen some horrific one. I remember one guy got hot watered. So him and his brother have planned to get the guy, the one that initiated the attack. They've got the brother, And what they kept doing, they've knocked him out, they've carried him into the cell, and they've just kept boiling the hot water and just pouring it on him, pouring it on him, pouring it on him. The guy's face was obliterated. Crazy. And it's only through the luck of the draw, like, an officer spotted that obviously he's getting hot water just continuously poured on him, you know? And they've had to come to the seg, and that's where I was working at the time.
Did anyone ever escape?
No, nearly. There was one, I think they were twins. And obviously he tried to like swap the wristband at the end, like the visit. But yeah, he got bagged. But I'll say that was the closest escape.
There's not many anymore, is there?
No.
Everything's unlocked. Everything you can't move. Too many cameras, too many doors.
Yeah. But I'll say that was the closest one from visit. But they were twins. So
What's the worst thing you actually seen? What's the worst thing that plays in your mind? Can you even separate any?
you can't even, you
because it's all fucking madness,
it's all crazy, man. What was the worst? I think when I saw that guy's head split open, because I could see his skull, you know. Oh no, there was another one when I was in Juma prayers, and luck of the draw, it's always Jeff, but they stitched me up. So they put me in Juma prayers with like 150 inmates, and I didn't know at the time there was like serious conflict between these two inmates, but this inmate's come prepared. So he's chopped the guy's, he chopped him in his face. And I remember when the guy was talking, his face was just opening and opening and opening. You could just see the flesh, you could see the bone. And I was the only one that had to stop that. Like obviously they've looked on CCTV and they've seen that there was an altercation. But yeah, when it comes to like assaults, I've seen some mean ones, man. I've seen some naughty ones.
It's mad though, the effects it has. Not just, but the same as the coppers. We were raised to hate the coppers, but the job that they have to go through on a daily basis, the same as prison officers.
Yeah.
Like it's PTSD. So it's like a soldier going to war.
Yeah, it's
you know, like it's nuts.
I'll say prison officers are tougher than police officers. Easy. Because prison officers, anything can happen. You can get held hostage. Like, you know, you can get assaulted, and like you won't even have the staff there to deal with that situation there and then.
How many staff in a wing?
You're lucky to have 3. Yeah, you're lucky. That's how short staff it gets.
What happens if it kicks off though?
Then exactly. You know, working in the 10 years that I was there, I never ever pressed my alarm. If it kicked off, it is what it is, isn't it? I know on every wing I always had like an inmate that would assist me in dealing with like the situation, you see what I'm saying? But yeah, if it kicked off, it's going left, man. You know.
Was that a buzz as well?
I'll be lying to you if I said that. It wasn't. It was. Because it's a test of character. You're amongst these hooligans, you're getting pool balls dashed at you, like it's going off, it's going left. And you see with officers they've got like a funny sense of humor.
Dark humour.
Yeah, it's tapped. So they'll say, oh, if you press your alarm, you're a pussy. Or they'll say, oh, what's it? Or if they see you on camera like running or ducking and diving, they'll say, oh, you're a pussy. Like,
That's understandable.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? So yeah. So I wasn't trying to be that guy, man. I can't lie to you. I wasn't trying to be that guy.
Do you get questioned though if you press the panic button?
Yeah. No, so obviously, when you press the panic button, it's to alert staff that an incident's happening. But like, you get your boastful officers that will like condemn me. Say, why are you pressing your alarm for? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just dumb banter.
What's the biggest sentence you seen? You were in with someone. What was the biggest sentence?
99 years. Yeah, he was a hitman. So he used to, he's nuts hard. So what he would do, he would basically stalk the person that had the hit put on them. He'll stalk them for about 3 months. So he'll know the time that he goes to work, he'll know the time that the guy takes his kid to school, he'll know the time where the guy would walk his dog, knew everything about him. And then he'll then, obviously, when he feels that there's an entry point, he said that it takes like minimum 3 months. Before he kills someone, he will have to study that person's move diligently, like for at least 3-4 months before he makes his move, because he has to understand the routine and a pattern. And if there's like a discrepancy in how that individual's moving, he'll then have to reassess that situation. Tapped.
Yeah, that's a proper hitman though.
Yeah.
Just
You
show
told me
up.
that you shaved the hairs off him, everything.
How many did you do?
So when he told me that he done 20, but he said that there's still, should I say, cases coming up of hits that he's been involved. But at the time he told me that it was 20, which was, I think, right, like, and he didn't even look the part. He didn't look the part at all. But yeah, he was game, man. 99 years.
English, Irish?
No, he was English. Yeah.
Just show it. Listen, you don't know who you're sitting
You
to.
don't know.
Where I grew up, like the little trigger men or the hard men was the little fucking men. who nobody spoke to. They'd sit and have a little whiskey.
Yeah.
Not do fuck. It's not the big ones with the scars, 6 feet 3, tattoos, built like a brick shit house. Like, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
When you look at the IRA and stuff,
Yeah.
they were just fucking causing destruction and mayhem to fight for their cause. But the majority of them were like 5 feet 5.
You see what I'm saying?
Tough bastards.
Yeah.
Like, it's mad.
It was, crazy. Yeah, you see prison, it told me never underestimate.
Anyone.
Don't underestimate, man. I've seen big guys get knocked out clean by like a 4'5" guy, you know. The one that was an expert at knockouts, and he looked like a drug user. He used to knock out inmates clean, flat out, like, you know. You can't underestimate anyone, man. You know.
The corruption. How bad is the corruption within the prison system?
What now?
Yeah, when you were there.
Oh, terrible, man. It's horrible. Horrible. There was one inmate, call him Mr. S. He had like 16 under his payroll. He had 16 officers clean under his payroll. And so obviously even through his operation stemmed from like the kitchen. So he even had like the kitchen workers like obviously involved in his operation. And then it stemmed through like the Faith Center onto like the wings, you know. And everyone had their suspicions about him, but they just couldn't pinpoint it. And obviously his operation failed because the person that he was working with, or the person he was using as like a dummy, has got into a relationship with one of like the prison workers. They're like the resettlement workers. They're the ones that get you like your housing and that. And so when they've like exposed that relationship, that guy then said, "No, I'm gonna throw Mr. S under the bus." But then they couldn't catch him anyway.
So how does it get so many people on the payroll? Is that just people easily corrupt by money?
Yeah, easily corrupt by money, and it's how much they're getting, you know. And when you look at, I've witnessed certain cases where there was a teacher, again, worked on like the foreign national wing, and he made like $500,000. He made like $500,000, but he got caught. It was just the wrong day. Like his day came, he made like $500,000. But there's officers that I know personally that's like they've made like 40, 50 grand, like through bringing in phones, drugs, you know. I'm thinking, where's your honor, man? You know, because you can make all that money, but then it's the way the name just gets defiled. You know, you're a sender, you're a postman, like yeah.
You're a runner.
Yeah, you're a runner. You know, you're not a boss. You know, and it's funny because the inmates are so treacherous. They say, "Oh, you know, he's only able to go on holiday because of me," or you know, he's able to only afford that car because of me. I think, oh, I could never have someone talk about me like that, bro. It's just mad.
And what percentage of the prison system do you think are corrupt, that do bad?
70. 70. Easy. Because governors as well. Governors were corrupt. There's even governors now that like one suspended because she whistle blew against another governor that was receiving money from like an inmate. So it stems from like the top, you know, and where Thameside was like a luxury prison. So governors had the power to put prisoners on hold longer than their sentence. And normally you're supposed to stay in Thameside for about 6 months. But there's prisoners that are staying in there for years. And that's because they've given money to governors to keep them on hold. So what, there was one governor, he was charging what, I think 10, 15 grand, like per inmate to like stay in Thameside because they had it cushy there. You know, so it stemmed from like the top.
What's all the stuff that we're bringing in? Obviously, the usual suspects. You've got drugs and phones, but how much are they bringing in?
They're bringing them in big loads because they're getting paid. Because when you're in that game, you get paid beforehand. So you'll get the money. So I'll pay you, and then you'll then have to commit to bringing in whatever, but in bulk. So if it's what, 5 grand's worth, then that means you have to bring in 5 grand's worth of phones and weed or whatever. And spice as well. Spice was the easiest one to get in because there's sheets in it. And at that time when I was at Thames, I don't know about now, but they couldn't scan through, they couldn't detect like spice on like the sheets. So yeah, they were winging it. And then obviously legal visits as well. Like solicitors are bringing in like spice, phones, you know.
People have got it more cushy in the jail than they do out here.
It's mad.
Did anybody ever get women in?
No.
Never.
No, they've corrupted like the women officers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you just never know.
No,
that much money involved.
Even when you're saying like bringing women in, like, so like an inmate would get like a relative or maybe get their girlfriend to apply to be an officer. Mm-hmm. But no one knows that what she's been employed for. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everyone just thinks, okay, employed as a prison officer. But they don't know that obviously they've been employed by a specific inmate for her to then bring him drugs and for her to do like whatever with him.
So what's the stages then when you go to the prison car park? Like what's the stages to go through the doors and checks and search and what's the stages?
So like from the car park, you'll come into like something called the gatehouse. And then from the gatehouse, that's where you get searched. But it depends on the day. You could get searched like heavily, you know. But normally it's like there's like a random button on like the door, green and red. If it goes green, you can go through. If it goes red, then you're getting searched. You know that. So that's like phone. No, like you're taking off like your belt, or you're basically just getting thoroughly searched, and you're going through like the X-ray, not the X-ray machine, but it's like the machine detector, and that's like that's every day, you know.
So what about, do they bring, surely they don't bring in knives?
There was one, she got sentenced, she got jailed, like, she made the attempt to bring in a knife for an inmate, but she got caught. And the worst thing is she tried to even frame. So basically, when she was getting searched, she tried to then frame the officer that was like next to her. So she's tried to like, I think, slip the knife or slip the drugs to like the officer to put the onus on her. But they've obviously caught her, innit? You know.
How frequently is it? Is it every day they're getting paid? Every week?
It depends on. There's some that were smashing it, you know, because they'll pick their times of when they'll like ferry in the drugs. So the weekend, should I say, was the searches were a lot less intense, you know. But there was one particular officer, I won't mention him, but he was smashing it. Yeah, he was killing it. I don't know what operation he had. I don't know who he had working with him, but yeah, he done well.
How much do you think?
From what the inmate told me, because they told me everything, over 60K. Like, yes, yeah.
How long does it take to corrupt an officer? Could it be done instantly, or can it be a few months? Everybody can be corrupt.
Yeah. It depends on the officer's circumstance, you know.
Struggling with their bills, fell out with their wife, divorce, and they think, do you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
They're going to get it in anyway. I can see their method of thinking as well. Some people are in it thinking, it's not the right thing to do, but they're getting it anyway. Yeah. And may as well make money from it.
Yeah, when life hits you, like, you know, it can get you into a stage of desperation. Yeah. So, but I know, like, obviously, the officers that I worked with, like we frown upon like corruption. You see what I'm saying? Like if it got that bad, I'm doing bits outside. I'm gonna holler at the people that can make me a coin quick, you know. So I think it all came down to like the circumstances, and it's mad, yeah, because it's the least ones that you expect, you know. Yeah, jail taught me a lot.
What sort of stuff were you getting offered to do?
So there was, oh, where do I even start? Okay, cool. There was these two Irish fellas, like they were kingpin when it came to importing like drugs. And one of them said to me, "Oh, Jeff, get me paintings, and every painting that you get me, I'll pay you like 30 grand." But them two were like Codees, innit? So I said, right, what, you're about that life, yeah? Then I've gone to like the other fella. I said, oh, like, how much have you made? Or blah, blah, blah. Just having the general conversation. I said, oh, your Cody said that he'll pay me 30 grand, like, a pot to bring paintings from Paris. And like, his Cody said, what? Forget him, he's a small boy. But I'll pay you 300. Just get me like a stack of paintings. Like, just go to Paris by ferry, get me a stack of paintings. He had me on the ropes. And again, it all comes down to just like integrity, innit? If it was so easy, how did you get caught? If it's so easy, why are you in jail? And you have to just think of these things. Like, why are you in prison? If you're that good at what you did, like, why are you there? You know, but you can imagine, and he was on my wing 2000 and I think it was 13 or 14. Like, but he was a big timer. Like, and it's mad because I always got along with like the big ballers. I think it's just the way I carried myself. I wear like a Gucci belt, I wear Prada, so they're thinking, okay, cool, he's one of us. And obviously they'll try to slip in, oh, would you bring in this? Would you do that? But yeah, I'll say when it came to them two Irish individuals, that one had me on shake mode. I can't lie, boy.
You don't fuck with the Irish, bro.
Yeah. They're mad.
They've got a big say in the world. I love the Irish. I love the Scousers because they're tapped. They're crazy, but they're very good at what they do.
Yeah.
When they get in, like,
exactly.
They run a lot of the prisons and all the Scousers. Everywhere. Yeah. But they're everywhere. Thailand, Dubai. Yeah. They're always up to something.
They're out to make a coin. Yeah. I'll give it to them.
Did you ever find money in sales? Did you ever think, what the fuck?
No. No, that wasn't common when I was in prison, because the money has like no value because everything's like digitalized. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'll look at some of the prisoners' accounts and I'll think, rah, like you don't need that. Like they've got like 10, 15 grand in like their prison spend account. I'm thinking, what are you doing with that, man?
Because it's changed days now. Now with all the technology. So what happens when prisoners are in their cell, they're doing fucking TikToks and Instagrams? Like, what happens then?
What, in terms of when they get caught? Or?
Yeah, but they're incriminating themselves. But why are they doing that? Like, I don't get that. I don't understand.
I think it's just
the process.
It's clout.
But what happens when they do it? Are they getting an extra ad?
No. So they'll get something called like a security search, like a designated search. So if like an officer's seen that this inmate's on social media, an intelligence report will get put in. They'll then go and get spun, or they'll get searched. If they're successful in finding the phone, then they'll go through something called an adjudication process. So that would entail, basically, you'll get something called a outside adjudicator, and the outside adjudicator can add on extra days. So normally, it would always lead to like them getting like nicked in like prison. But like I said, if they're a lifer, they don't care.
So what happens when you're seeing like a Nando's and a KFC's For me, it's
Look,
not that deep.
To be fair,
You know?
I didn't care.
Yeah, but
You know?
what you thinking though? Like, why would they leave the rappers and stuff? Is that a case
I
of?
think it's just complacency.
That's just
You
for
know,
me.
I've gone into sales and I've seen like phones like being on charge, and I won't lie to you, James. Like, I'll do my job, but I'm not going above and beyond because the protection isn't there. You know, it's like you're up against. You're not favoured in that aspect. There's been officers that were jobs worth, you know, and then they've caught an inmate with a phone, and then obviously, and they've done it when the inmate's gone to like one of these activities or whatever, and then another officer's snitched on the ones that's found the phone, and you know, I've seen officers get battered for that. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's just, it's mad. It's a mad environment.
So it's to try and turn a blind eye on some of it as well.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
So what would happen if you report that? Do you then get questioned that did you say then that you could have put it there, or do you then become a threat that you could get your throat slit?
It's everything. It's everything. It's so hard to explain because, like, okay, cool. From the job's perspective, you can do the right thing and there's consequences. You could do the wrong thing and there's still consequences. So it's really about like your discernment. And when I have been in, should I say, a compromised situation, if I walked into a cell and I've seen an inmate's phone charge, don't care. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? But then if I've gone into a cell and I'm with like an officer, I've then had to act on that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If I was on my own, like, just not my business, innit? But then it's like the battling on both fields, on both sides of like the fence, because if you do your job to the T, again, there's consequences, you know, because there's inmates that will like they won't pet to get you like dealt with. You know, it was a very conflicting job. You know, it was conflicting in the sense where you had to use discernment, but then you had to also play the game. Like, you know,
yeah,
it's such
a difficult situation, because if you're complaining about the prison offers being corrupt, taking phones in, but you're turning a blind eye against the phone, this could be, well, what's the difference?
You see what I'm saying?
You know?
So it was so conflicting. Is
it just trying to survive?
That every day was a survival. Every day, James, I promise you, if I go into the jail, I'll open my Bible and I'll read Psalm 91 and I'll just go in. I've read that every day because inside there is unpredictable. You don't know what can happen to you, innit?
And what about the Prada stuff and the Gucci belts, the Prada shoes and the Gucci belts? Like, what was the sort of code for that, to wear that? Because obviously you've got the black boots, you've got the prison belt with your truncheon.
Yeah. I said I wanted to work comfortable. No one could tell me nothing. And I was the best officer, the most decorated. But no one will ever be able to emulate what I did. No, I'm telling you.
Did you get awards or anything?
No, but you know what, yeah? In terms of like the prison perspective, I got egg and flowered by them, like as like a token of appreciation. Like I've gone into like cells and like scrapped with like 30 of them as like a joke. You know, that commends me as an individual. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I was envied in that aspect. But I wanted to just work comfortably, to be fair. I'm not wearing them boots.
Do you think prison rehabilitates people? Or do you think it just, because a big percentage of people end up going back anyway?
Again, it's a conflicting question. Why? Because when I worked on like the detox wing, these were constant reoffenders. And there was one individual that I went to, I said, why is it that you keep coming to prison? And he was about 50 odd. Saying, Jeff, out there's tough, you know? Like, out there's hard. Like, this is the only place where I get showered. That cut me, to be fair. That cut me. So there's that aspect. There's the other aspect where when someone's freedom is stripped completely and they've had it all outside, they ain't trying to come back again. So it's a bit of a cliche like question. I don't personally. I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
It's scary to think there's a detox wing because there's people taking drugs in the prison. Surely there should be more things in place to think that why is all these drugs getting in here? People are on ecstasy, coke, heroin, weed.
Yeah.
Like how, there's enough question marks, enough answers getting put to why there's so much drugs in the jail. We know how it was getting there, but should there be more things put in place to try, or does it make prison officers' life easier that they actually get their drugs? Because if you're clucking and chasing it, you're going to be losing your nut. Do you think it's easier just to let the drugs flow in instead of trying to help the convicts? You know, because people are coming out of prison with a bigger drug issue that they had before they went in. A lot of people turn to drugs because they can't handle their sentence.
Yeah. Again, it's a cliche question. If you stop the drug, because I remember when they stopped smoking, like when they stopped the whole tobacco thing, that's when prisons started to riot and so on and so forth. But again, they need to clamp down on, should I say, the drugs, because again, I've seen inmates die from like taking like the wrong stuff, you see what I'm saying? And, you know, having to deal with that situation in itself is stressful, man. You know, it's not cool. It's not cool going coroner's court. Like, you see what I'm saying? Is
there many drug overdoses in prisons?
Loads from Spice, you know. And it was so mad. It was getting to a stage now. Again, when I worked on like the detox wing, people were just tipping over, folding over from like Spice. And it's mad. I was able to identify, should I say, the main ones that were clucking for it. So I moved them off the wing. And then, I don't know, they would have, like, there was two that I moved off the wing because I just had that feeling that, yeah, he's gonna tip over. He's gonna be brown bread. And so when I moved two of them, this was on separate occasions, to another wing, yeah, they've died from taking something that they shouldn't have taken. Crazy.
Sad, isn't it though? Losing your life in prison. You know, like, when you think about what a lot of people do struggle, and a lot of people don't know their backstory of why they're actually there.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've done criminology, you understand their mindset a little bit more. And it's not that you feel sorry for them, but a lot of people shouldn't be in prison either. They need mental help. Did you see a lot of mental health issues in prison?
Loads. And it's sad because they don't get the help that they get, you know, because they've got like a unit called healthcare, but healthcare can house how many people? You see what I'm saying? So a lot just slip through the net, and they're just neglected in that aspect, you know. And there was like a lot of like self-harm, bad self-harm. I used to see some crazy self-harms.
Like what?
There was a guy that he's like cut his arm open, but because he's cut it so many times, he was able to fidget with like his nerves, and that would like move his fingers and that. I've seen people like eat. I can even show you photos. Like I've seen people eat like big chunks of their flesh from like their leg as like a form of self-harm. I've seen people stick like pens in their heads. Had to take them to hospital to get the pen removed. Like that self-harm's been mad. There was a guy that used to just put any Tom, Dick, and Harry like through his belly, in his belly. It's just crazy. Yeah, the self-harm as well. The self-harm gets to me as well, like, because you're seeing things which just isn't normal.
Do you get to speak to people about it?
What, the actual inmates?
No, like therapy or other inmates to say, listen, today.
Now I've got like close friends that like, I'll talk to.
But you're the kind of guy that just seems that you'll laugh at it, but even though it's serious.
Yeah. At that moment of time, I don't know, like, if I panic or whatever, being there and then, like, I would try and deal with the situation as like much as I can. I remember there was this inmate that we were taking to the hospital, and he just kept eating out of his leg. And like the officers that I'm with, they're flapping. He was a traveller. They were flapping. So I said to the cab driver, put on some WizKid. And then WizKid started playing, and he stopped eating from his leg. And he said, Jeff, this is a banging tune, you know, dude, he's banging it. And that's like dissolved the situation momentarily at the time. You see what I'm saying? Because I didn't allow it to affect me. I've just had to use like humor, like sick humor. It's sick. Like someone's eating from their leg, and
So what are they doing, eating their own body parts?
to this day I don't even know. I don't know why they did it, but this one in particular, he was just digging in. Then he'll vomit for a bit, then he'll just carry on digging in. I'm thinking, bro, I'll show you like the pictures after. It's like, you know, it's like, and self-harm, assaults as well. I've seen people get like their ears bit off because they didn't get like the correct portion of chips. You know, I could show you pictures of that as well. Like, it's crazy. Chips. You know,
So you lasted 10 years.
I lasted 10 years.
What was the decision to leave?
They sacked me.
Fucking option. Selling his underpants. That's how Danny Simpson was in here buying your pants.
Yeah, they sacked me.
What happened?
So basically, they said that I had inappropriate relationships with prisoners. Because I was brazy with it. Like, if I was out in central London, I'm snapping ex-inmates that like used to be with me. Till one night when I've gone to a place called Bagatelle, and I've left like my car keys. But then obviously the inmate that I was with, we had like all mutuals in it. So he tried to drive my car, but he's parked it like a div in like the middle of the road. So when police have come to my house, they said, do you know like your car's in the middle of the road, like obstructing everything? I'm thinking, flipping, I'll go home by cab, whatever. So I've come to the scene now, and they said, oh, like, who drove your car? I said, oh, what's that? I was with like my friend, as well as like an ex-inmate. But what they've pinpointed is ex-inmate. So they've contacted something called like the comms department. So as soon as they've heard ex-inmate, they've then investigated me and then sacked me. But then, like I said, their investigation was flawed anyway, because the person that initially suspended me, he was the one that done the whole investigation. You're not allowed to do that. So he wasn't de novo to the situation. There was a bias to him getting rid of me. He didn't like me anyway. But yeah, I got that overturned. I got paid out. This was it last year or maybe the year before? Yeah. So I've gone through like the tribunal. They didn't want to take it to like obviously the tribunal court. So they've settled in it. I said, I'll take that. Yeah.
Do you miss it?
I missed the banter. I missed the banter, man. I got crazy banter from there. I got hella banter. I don't miss it because there's just too many snaky officers, man. And like, it's mad because when you hear that there's like a corrupt officer like amongst you, you just feel uncomfortable. You feel uneasy with them because you don't know the danger that they can bring to you. You see what I'm saying? So it's, I don't miss it in that aspect in terms of like the politics or like being stereotyped or being judged or always being the one like that's always coming up in people's mouths. Like I don't miss it at all, you know?
See, when people are puffing weed, surely the cell must stink.
No, it's like Amsterdam.
So what happens then?
To be fair, I'll tell them to fix up because they're going to do it anyway. You know, so even when it came to that, again, I knew how to manage it. I knew how to manage them like not smoking so like brazy. I mean, if you're going to smoke, like do it when I'm off shift, but don't, because it's disrespectful, innit? If you think that you can just smoke brazenly whilst it's like during my working hours, like you don't respect me. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because I could easily just get you spun and so on and so forth. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Was there many top boys in the jail? Know how you get maybe a big yard there, a London gangster? Like, was there anybody who ran the show, or was it just all more the Muslim community?
Lots of
gangs.
So, like I said, like your Carl Robinsons, like your Bruce Harrys,
Who are they?
like they're big timers. I think they worked for like the Addams family. You know, we had a briefing about Carl Robinson. This is when I knew this guy was serious. I don't even know who this guy is. There was a big briefing in reception. They said, Carl Robinson's coming into the jail. Do not trouble him. Do not give him grief. Just leave him be. And when I saw he went on B wing, and when I saw him training the whole landing, like they were doing burpees at like the end of the thing, I said, yeah, you see, and he was only doing like 2 weeks as well. But yeah, he was different kettle. But there's different inmates, like I said, like your ghosts, your bouncers, your Dannies, like, and then you get like your gangs as well, like your 6-7, your Peckham lot, Brixton lot. So they had their own level of, should I say, dominance, you know. But individually, obviously, the ones that I've mentioned, they stuck out to me, as well as your Bruce Harrys. Who else is there? Like there was a period where there was a wing called E-Wing. That was like the baller wing, you know. So they had like people like Mark Lambie, the triplets. One guy called Kisma.
Tottenham.
Yeah. So he was on it. Yeah. So he had he had an army around him.
Yeah, he's proper.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? So like these are you know. So collectively they had like their own like reputation.
So what is the code then for working in the prison system? And if you've got friends who are in prison, like how does that work? How's that about?
You have to put something called like a conflict of interest.
So you need to give the prison system a heads up.
Yeah. But it's mad because obviously where I was from South End, I pretty much like knew everyone in it.
Yeah.
They just said like when it came to like putting in like the conflicts of interest, they just said like just notify security like verbally that you know the symbol, because it's like every 5 seconds I'm coming into security to fill that form out. You know.
How's life like now?
I'm good as gold. I can't lie to you. I live a decent life, and that's just through like my social circle. There's a particular group that I hang around, like they're high rollers, like the Dylans, like they're the high rollers, like they're proper. So they look after man. You see, and so it's mad because all of like my prison officers' friends would see in it, you know, and they'll want to be like a part of that, but no, you're not cut for it. But yeah, no, I live a decent, live an okay life, man.
Good, mate. Good, bro. What do you do with yourself now then?
So I'm a service manager.
Yep. So what's that do? What have you got to do?
So that entails housing young people that's suffered from immediate homelessness or has had broken relationships with like the parents.
Yeah, you spoke about that at the start. Is that more fulfilling?
So fulfilling.
Easier? A lot of them really struggle as well, mate.
Yeah, no, I'd say because you're not expecting to see certain situations transpire in that environment, I think it shocks me more. Whereas where I'm worked in prison, it's expected, isn't it? But then when you're working with young people, again, that have like suicidal ideation or when they self-harm, it gets to you more. But I think the biggest reward is just seeing that they've been able to obtain their independence, you know. There's some that I'll meet on like the high street, they'll give me a hug saying like, thank you for what you've done for me. Like, so that in itself is fulfilling, but it's stressful as well.
Yeah, it's like anything, brother. But
Yeah.
how are you feeling today?
Good, man. Finally came to meet the main man. Came to meet the main man.
What's your social medias and stuff? If people maybe want to leave you a message, reach out, maybe somebody that's knew you from prison that wants to...
All of them will think, they'll love this, man.
Yeah.
They'll love it. They'll love it. I think my Instagram's Naomi _Tieku 22 or something like that. Yeah, but they'll be able to find me. Hopefully you tag me. I hope I get a follow.
Of course you will, bro. Of course you will. Do you want to give anybody a shout out?
Obviously, Big Bro, Yusuf, Dwayne Patterson, gotta always big him up. Marshall, Pure Gym, like I have to big him up as well. Like my old school friends, Chidi, my friend Jide, Toby, Taylor, who I worked in the prison with. Ghosts, Danger. There's so many that I could we'll be here like all day in it, but
Brother, no wonder you get fucking sacked.
yeah.
You know what I mean? No wonder I'm thinking, good on the prison system's probably safer. You know, in it, bro, mate. Everybody's probably clucking because there's no drugs, no points, no KFCs. I'm starting to think you were the problem.
No, never.
You've just
That was one
down fucking 10 nutcases.
That was one thing that I never ever think. I'll tell you what I did do. Like, if a prisoner got battered, and they got sent to like a hospital watch. Like you got them on like a hospital watch. I ordered like a pizza. I'll order a pizza for me, the officer, and the inmate. I'm not gonna leave the inmate like scrambling. You see what I'm saying? So I'll give him like a pizza. And that's outside of the prison. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't know if you want to call it corruption or humanity.
Jeff, listen, you're a good guy, bro. I've thoroughly enjoyed your story. I wish you nothing but the best for the future. Would you like to finish up on anything else?
Don't know, just keep going, innit? And I hope that you enjoyed my story. And always just gotta give thanks to James for allowing me to be on like his platform. Good lad.
Listen, my brother. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Nothing but the best for the future.
Thank you, bro.